Kung bigla kang na-ospital ngayon at kailangan mo ng 500,000 pesos pambayad sa hospital bills, saan ka kukuha? Sa magulang? Sa kaibigan o sa kakilala? Sa social media? In this episode, let's talk about insurance at kung kailangan mo ba talaga nito o sayang lang ang pera mo. To answer quickly, ang sagot ay yes. But depends on your financial situation. If that's the answer that you're looking for, thanks for watching and see you sa next episode. But if you want to learn more about this, keep watching at i-breakdown natin yan. Before we start this episode, let me share something with you. 92.9% ng nanonood sa channel na ito ay hindi nakasubscribe. So, if you enjoy my episodes, can I ask you a small favor? Hit that subscribe button. It helps the channel grow, reach more Filipinos, and spread financial literacy. The bigger we get, the more value I can bring to you. And I promise I'll keep delivering quality episodes as we scale. Deal? Okay, let's get to the breakdown. As usual, let's start with the definition. Ano ba ang insurance? According to the Insurance Code of the Philippines, ang insurance ay isang kontrata ng isang kumpanya kung saan nangangako sila na babayaran ka o ang pamilya mo kapag may nangyaring hindi inaasang sakuna, aksidente o kamatayan. Kapalit nung regular mong bayad o premium. Nung una, hindi ko rin talaga gets kung bakit premium yung tawag. Hindi ko maintindihan ano yung sinasabi nilang premium. Pero upon making this episode, yun pala yung tawag nila talaga sa bayad, technically. Let me know in the comments kung mali ako. Pero yun yung nabasa ko eh. In simple terms, binabayaran mo sila ngayon para tulungan ka nila in the future kapag may nangyaring hindi inaasahan sa'yo. According to the Philippine National Health Accounts ng Philippine Statistics Authority o PSA, ang average Filipino family ay gumagastos ng 44% ng kanilang healthcare expenses galing sa sariling bulsa. Imaginein mo, halos kalahati ng hospital bills mo, ikaw mismo magbabayad kapag wala kang proper health insurance. Isa lang ito sa maraming dahilan kung bakit maraming Filipino families ang nababaon sa utang kapag may nagkakasakit. Bukod sa mahal na nga yung hospitalization, malaking factor din kapag walang emergency fund ang isang pamilya. Pero, meron naman tayong two ways to protect ourselves during emergencies. Number 1, yung tinatawag nating accumulation, and number 2 ay tinatawag na accreditation. Itong concept na to, natutunan ko lang din to kay Sir John Ocampo ng The Present. Ilalagay ko sa description yung link ng channel niya if you want to check. Yung accumulation, ito yung tinatawag nating traditional na pag-iipon. You build your savings or emergency fund over time for emergencies. Now, how do we save or accumulate? When we receive our income, meron tayong simpleng formulang sinusundan. Yung formula na yon ay income minus savings equals expenses. It's not the other way around. Okay? Halimbawa, si Ate Baby, nagsasave siya ng 1,000 pesos per month for 5 years para sa kanyang emergency fund. So that's 1,000 pesos times 12 months times 5 years. And that's a total of 60,000 pesos. So gumawa ako ng table para ipakita sa inyo yung pros and cons ng accumulation. Pa-flash ko sa screen. Yung pros ng accumulation is you have full control over your money. Kasi nga, hawak mo yung pera mo eh. You don't need to pay premiums o yung monthly na bayad sa insurance. Bahala ka kung magkano yung maitatabi mo, hindi siya fixed. Next na pros ng accumulation ay flexibility. It can be used anywhere for any purpose. And lastly, it builds financial discipline. Since ikaw nga mismo yung nag-iipon for yourself or for your family, matututo ka talaga maging disiplinado when it comes to finances. Now, ano naman yung cons ng accumulation? Una, it takes time to build significant protection. Imaginein mo yung example natin si Ate Baby. 1,000 per month yung iniipon niya for 5 years. So, that's 60,000. Hindi pa natin dito ina-account yung inflation, yung mga ibang gastusin, mga minor emergencies na possible na mabawasan yung inipon natin. And then next, limited yung capacity mo to save. Since ikaw lang mismo yung nag-iipon pwede siyang mag-fluctuate. Depende sa trabaho mo, depende sa income mo. Next na con, ito yung isa sa mga medyo scary when it comes to accumulation is one big emergency can wipe the entire savings. Again, balikan natin yung example natin na si Ate Baby. Huwag natin i-account yung inflation. So, let's say, yung buong 5 taon na yon hindi siya na-aksidente or yung family niya. But, nung na-complete niya na yung 60K, merong hindi magandang nangyari. Tapos yung hospital bills ay nagkakahalaga ng 100,000. O diba? Wipe na agad tapos hindi mo pa alam kung saan kukunin yung remaining na pambayad sa hospital bills. And lastly, it requires discipline and consistency. Tulad ng sinabi ko, since ikaw yung nag-iipon ng sarili mong pera or for emergency fund, may tendency talaga na minsan hindi mo lagyan or minsan babaan mo or i-adjust mo. Depende sa financial situation. Let's move on to the next. Yung accreditation. Itong accreditation naman, yung pagkuha na ng insurance. Instead na ikaw yung mag-iipon ng sarili mong emergency fund or pang-cover sa hospital bills, you pay companies para i-cover kanila for emergencies. Sa insurance, either magbabayad ka ng monthly, that's 12 times a year, quarterly, that's 4 times a year, biannually, twice a year, or annually, 1 time a year. Depende sa capacity mo to pay. The cost also depends on your age and current health situation. Kaya nga madalas na advice na naririnig natin is to get insurance as early as you can. But beware of this kasi may mga tao or like agents na nagtitake advantage ng ganitong mindset. Pag-uusapan natin yan later in this episode. Magfo-fall pa rin to sa thought na mag-a-apply ka at the best time possible. And when is it? As soon as, number 1, bata ka pa. Number 2, wala ka pang major na sakit. And number 3, may mental at financial capacity ka na to commit to this. Take note of that. Ito naman yung table ng pros and cons when it comes to accreditation. Yung pros muna is immediate yung large protection from day one. So for example, na-approve ka sa iyong policy o dun sa insurance mo. Tapos, let's say, kinabukasan or after 1 week na matapos yung paperworks, kinailangan mo na ng malaking pera to cover your hospital bills. So, mapoprovide nila yan. Next is, protection amount is larger than the money you pay. So, halimbawa, sample lang natin 3,000 pesos yung monthly na binabayaran mo sa insurance. Yung protection amount, hindi lang siya basta 3,000. So, it can cover up to 500,000, 1 million, depende yan sa policy mo. Also, another pros ng accreditation o ng insurance is the peace of mind it can bring to you against major financial risks. So, halimbawa, yun nga, knock on wood na matay ka or nagkaroon ng major na sakit sa'yo, yung as in critical, di ba? Meron kang peace of mind na mako-cover ka ng insurance at least versus again sa example natin kay Ate Baby na 60,000 pesos for 5 years. And lastly, fixed predictable costs. Ibig sabihin, kung ano yung binabayaran mo monthly or like kung gaano ka ka-frequent magbayad, yun lang ang babayaran mo for the duration or time frame ng policy mo. Now, punta naman tayo sa cons ng accreditation. So, isa is regular yung pagbabayad mo ng premium at required. So, kapag hindi ka nakapagbayad, meron naman yan atang grace period. But, yun nga, mafo-force ka talaga na magbayad sa kanila monthly or again, kung gaano ka ka-frequent nagbabayad. Depende sa policy. Next is coverage can only be specific or limited. So, halimbawa, hindi naman yung insurance, covered niya lahat. Meron lang yan sa policy mo. Siyempre, dapat basahin mo yan. Kung ano yung specific na sakit or yung mga scenarios na kaya ka nilang i-cover. So, kung halimbawa, rare yung sakit mo or wala sa listahan ng insurance mo yung kaya nilang i-cover, doon, hindi ko alam kung ano mangyayari. Pero, you have to talk to your financial advisors regarding this. Ito, isa talaga to sa mga, I think, major na naririnig ko kapag discussion ng insurance. The money goes to insurance company if unused. Kumbaga parang sinasabi nila, pinapayaman mo yung insurance company, ganyan-ganyan. Well, technically, that's true. Just like any other professional fees na binabayad sa mga tao. So, halimbawa, baliktarin natin yung sitwasyon. Actually, hindi ako hindi ako affiliated to any insurance companies at hindi ako paid to tell this. Pero this is based on my experience. Yun nga, so let's flip the situation. Ako yung trabahador. Tanggalin natin yung insurance na context. Ako yung trabahador. Siyempre, 'di ba, hindi naman nila kukunin yung professional fee sa akin for the time that I work. For yun, yung work na kinover ko, 'di ba? So ganun lang din. Hindi naman nila yun babawiin. So parang ikaw lang yung nagbibigay ng pasahod nila. Ganun. Pero another way to look at that is nagbabayad ka more than sa thought na pinapasahod o pinapayaman mo sila. It's more on sarili talaga siya. Kasi ewan ko, you'll never know unless you really study this part of adulthood. Napagod ako dun ka-explain. Hindi ko alam kung na-explain ko ba na maayos. And lastly, isa sa cons ng accreditation ay ang proper discernment. Ano talaga to? Hindi siya biro. So, when you get an insurance or when you get accreditation, pag-iisipan mo talaga dapat. Hindi lang basta kukuha ka because narinig mo siya from other people or na-recommend or binenta siya sa'yo. Gumawa ka ng table for the two strategies. Tapos, I'll let you pause this video if you want to take note. Ipa-flash ko sa screen in 3, 2, 1. Given this comparison, which is better? Accumulation or accreditation? Ang sagot ay walang better. Because they have different purposes, they serve different purposes, and they're not competing with each other. In fact, they complement each other. Parehong importante for a complete financial protection. Kung parehas lang pala importante, anong dapat kong unahin? Personally, I started with an emergency fund o accumulation. Kasi nung nagsisimula pa lang ako after I graduate college, wala pa of course, naturally, wala akong capacity to get an insurance yet. If you're like me, na nagsisimula pa lang, I recommend na mag-start ka with an emergency fund. Mag-ipon ka talaga. Nung nag-discern or nag-isip ako before getting an insurance, inabot ako ng 1 taon. Hindi ko sinasabi na abutin din kayo ng 1 taon sa pag-decide. Siyempre ako, marami ako kinoconsider. Because una, it's a long-term commitment. And pangalawa, yung capacity ko to pay. Paano kung hindi, 'di ba? Sayang 'yon. Maka-cancel yung policy ko or yung insurance. Next, iba talaga yung peace of mind na nabibigay ng kapag meron kang insurance. Kasi ako, part ng discernment ko when I was trying to get one is, una, I frequently travel from places to places. So, ang iniisip ko doon, paano kapag may nangyari sa akin hindi maganda along the way or like malayo ako, ganon. Sinong magko-cover ng mga expenses na yun? Syempre, nagsisimula pa lang ako wala akong capacity to pay for hospitals. So, isa yon. So, ginamit ko yung emergency fund ko that time. Nagsa-start pa lang ako mag-build ng emergency fund. So, ginamit ko pambili ng insurance. So, nag-jump ako to accreditation and then pinagsabay ko na siya. Grind talagang malala to earn. Isa sa mga nakahelp sa akin is talking to different licensed financial advisors working from different companies to get their perspectives and behavior towards me na wala pang insurance. So, ito yung sinasabi ko kanina, beware of the hard sellers and emotional manipulators. Kasi merong mga agents na tatakutin ka sa mga diseases na pwede mong makuha. Or like bubulagin ka sa potential returns, specifically the ones with investments. Okay naman sana yun, pero actually hindi yun yung unang-una mong priority, at least from my perspective. And next, isi-simplify nila yung pag-close ng insurance o ng deal kahit hindi ka pa dumadaan sa proper discernment or thought process. So, may mga ganun talaga, may mga kakilala ko na merong insurance, which is a good thing. Pero, hindi sila dumaan sa pag-iisip. Nung kinuha nila yon, hindi na-explain na maayos sa kanila bakit sila may ganun, bakit binenta sa kanila, ganyan-ganyan. Beware of those. And yung insurance po is not as simple as subscribing to Netflix. Tapos, kapag bored ka na or ayaw mo na, mag-unsubscribe ka. Hindi po ganun sa insurance. Insurance is a long-term commitment and we have to be mentally and financially ready before we get one. So, dito talaga pumapasok yung importance ng discernment kasi dito lalabas yung whys o yung mga bakit mo. Bakit ka kukuha? Bakit mo ito ginagawa? Bakit ka makikipag-usap sa mga ganito, ganyan? Ba't kailangan mo ito malaman? Mga ganun. And then, dito mo rin malalaman yung capacity mo to commit. Kasi may mga mas maikli pero mas mahal. Pero on average, at least 10 years up to 20 years yung mga insurance policy. Mahalaga rin talaga na makausap mo yung mga tamang tao na makaka-help sa'yo mag-decide. Not just because they want to close a sale. Yun, kung nanggaling ka sa well-off na family or nakaangat-angat naman kayo sa buhay, tapos kaya nyong i-cover yung mga emergencies like hospitalizations, then you might have a second thought of getting an insurance. But if you're like me na hindi naman afford ang daang libong gastos o milyon sa isang emergency, then I highly encourage you to get one. Again, with a proper discernment, not just because narinig nyo sa akin or narinig nyo sa kaibigan nyo or from someone else. Do your research and due diligence. If you want to learn more about insurance, I can refer you to my licensed financial advisor, si Ms. Rain. You can message me to my socials or you can comment below para properly ma-introduce ko kayo sa kanya. Again, you have to listen carefully kahit pa reputable o sikat yung mga financial advisors to make sure na hindi ka nila binibentahan ng products na hindi mo naman talaga kailangan. Kasi ako, pinag-isipan ko talaga yon ng mabuti. Kukuha na dapat ako nung itong type of insurance. Tapos, parang 3 days later, parang nag-step back ako. Sabi ko, ay wait lang, iba na lang pala. Yun. So, mas tama na yung kinuha ko for myself. Hindi porke sinabi na, ito yung para sa'yo, yun na yun. Siyempre, you have to match it with your current situation. At pag-isipan mo talaga kung para ba talaga sa'yo yun. Insurance is not just about you benefiting from it. It's also about protecting the people you love or the people around you. Making sure na hindi sila mahihirapan if something happens to you. Lalo talaga sa mga breadwinners. Minsan, nine-neglect ng mga breadwinners yung sarili nila, giving everything to their family, ganyan. Pero, minsan nakakalimutan nila yung thought na paano kapag sa kanila may nangyari? Sinong tutulong sa kanila? Especially sa finances, di ba? So, I highly recommend talaga na kumuha ng insurance yung mga breadwinners. Kahit igagapang, 'di ba? Para naman 'yan sa iyo at sa pamilya mo. So, 'di ba? If you want me to break down something specific in this channel, please leave a comment below and I'll try to make an episode about it. If you enjoyed this episode, you're gonna love my other